Okay, so there's a few things I want to talk about. Man, I have been up since 3. I'm just having weird nights anyways, when I'm just like, I'm awake and it seems like it would be morning. I swear to God, I've gotten up to check and it is like 10:30 at night. It's like, what the fuck is going on? So anyways, I swear to God, something weird is going on in this world with time. I really think there's something weird with time. And I think it's part of everything falling apart. And I see these religious people quoting stuff out of the Bible where it said, in the end, time will speed up or something. I think it's part of the process of time becoming irrelevant. But it's weird. It's weird when you're sitting here and you're doing something and it seems like it's been an hour and you look over and it's been 1 minute. It's like, what the fuck? What is going on? And is just, I don't know. It's like the separation of our consciousness to the constructs or the constrictions of this world. That's what it seems like to me. The same thing is like seeing the physical structure breakdown, which is so weird because everything has these like it's like a conundrum of information out there. So everything has got this both sides. And so there's people in the group, especially these 5D people, which I'm really irritated. I guess apparently the super spirituals, now they have taken over or robbed that term, New Age. It's like they've confiscated that. Now they call themselves New Age. It's like, dude, New Age was made before you were probably born. And you don't even, it's frustrating. I saw somebody now, like an older spiritual person. I think they were even a tribe person, but they said, if you see anybody say they're New Age, you need to run the other direction. It's like, okay, so what are they out there saying now, like about the New Age? Like, what are they out there preaching, the new Agers? I mean, this keep taking over these words and stuff. And just like Kramer, where I said, I think, and the thing is these people could have good intentions. They could just be blind to something because their ego is not allowing them to see this other information. So they only have limited information. That doesn't mean just because somebody is kind of a psyop or something that they're doing it intentionally or they were hired by the dark hats. It's just kind of how things play out in this. Because everybody's stuff is going to play out the way it's supposed to play out. But it all fits together in a woven fabric. So it all goes together. So this person, that could be a part of their awakening. And it's going to fit together with the rest. But it's going to be a part of leading people to their own awakening. So, and, when somebody is just leading and then so divisive, that's the thing that gets me with him, especially when he's taking his own peer group that now he's turned on. So he was like a leader in this group, all these Anon people following, him and thinking, he is a super patriot or something. It's all these ones like, but I don't know that means that he's hired by the deep state, to mislead people. Could just be part of his personality and what he's got to awaken to and his own ego. But to become so divisive and, well, we want leaders in this world, but nobody who ever has dealt with them. It's like, dude, weren't you one of them? Like, it doesn't make any sense. And I like the ones, the Anons, that are out there proud, like, because it is all about just being researching and looking into things and being observant and being aware, looking deeper into things. That's all it's about, and trust the plan to me is it's the trust in the universe that all this is going to fall into place. Yesterday, because my daughter's having these issues in her relationship as it's breaking apart, and she's like, said some stuff. And I said, well, you need to make sure that this is obvious, just have this situation be obvious And she's just like, well, he won't see it. And I was like, yeah, but it doesn't matter if he doesn't right then. It's going to plant a seed. And bet your ass the universe is going to use that seed and make something clear to them that they don't have a view of, because it is part of this clarity of self, of this healing yourself. So you have to see yourself. You can't be blind to yourself. How are you going to heal yourself? So all of the different things is like the universe will use them to make clarity for this person. But so like this Kramer character, you know, that now he's just like so divisive. I saw him yesterday, and I don't know if this was an old video, somebody was duetting something, and he was all just joyous and chuckly, and I was like, okay, well, that's different, because usually he's just like, he gets so close to the camera. He's one of those, when I talked about it a few months ago, he was one of those ones that was like, get so close to the camera, you get like this part of their face, and they talk about something real serious. And now he's sitting back and chuckling, and, you know, but I'm not a big follower of his. So it could be that he is like that all the time, and I just don't know. And I'm just, you know, my perception of him and what I'm seeing is what I'm shown and what I see, and it's how I perceive the situation. So, and I can just share my own perception of what I see. And another thing too is now there's so much talk about this girl Gabby that I talked about, who's got like 7 or 9 million followers, and I guess she was a super spiritual, from apparently what is being said, because there's all this talk like, well, if you know, she's a spiritual leader guru, and then this happens, and you know, just all these conversations. So apparently she was a super spiritual, and she was leading the rest down the road. And then she had what, you know, that they're calling some bipolar episode or something. And she just, you know, went off the rails or something. So I don't know. Like I said, when I went in and followed the stuff she was saying, I was like, I don't know, is this different? So I guess it was different than how she was, and that is what they're basing it on. So I don't know what she was like before. There was a lot of videos where she was just like kind of, I don't know, saying stuff and then laughing about it or whatever. But there's lots of people on there doing that kind of stuff. So I don't know. I just didn't seem that strange, but I guess it's out of character. But the whole thing is that is also part of this, you know, hand of God situation. Like, she's going to go through her own stuff, or she's got to have her own awakening. She's got to see her own self. And then she, but because she has a following, then they participate in this awakening. So however each person is affected by the situation. So somebody could be like, oh my God, I can't believe I was following somebody and she's mentally ill. Like, I don't know in each person what their connection was, but their connection is their trigger so that they can learn from the experience, because everything happening is all about the awakening. Even though, you know, so many people think it's about, you know, these and the injuries and stuff. Like, oh my gosh, it's sad how many people now are just like, they've got some serious issues. They wish they didn't get it. They wish they could get it out. And, you know, and then plus how scary for all these people to just keep saying, you're going to die. You're going to die. You're about to die. It's like, oh my God. It's like, I can't even imagine. It's hard enough just knowing people who have them. But this nonstop all day long of you're going to die, you're going to die, you're going to die, you're going to die. I can't even imagine having that inside of me. When the whole thing is, we all have the same stuff. There's a fucking thing going around. I don't know if this is some sort of satire and this guy's just saying this to make a point, but he's saying he's in the Chef Boyardee family, and that the Chef Boyardee family started the PF one because they wanted to. When you watch these old movies, you just see it became a thing. The chemicals, like in the espionage, and who's going to have the first pill, who's going to have this cure, you know, well, essentially called a cure, but we know now it's really just another way to destroy more of our system. So we can't heal ourselves, because we could really, truly just heal ourselves from all of these different things. But they just keep everybody just like, they keep the storm a brewing inside people's minds, inside their heart, inside their whole fucking system, their whole Kundalini system. They just keep this storm going so people can't settle down. That's why it's important to quiet the mind, because you got to settle down so you can heal yourself. But they keep everybody, oh, well, did you know there's a pill for that now? Did you know you can just do this, do that? And it's like, that is all just part of the game, because none of their stuff really cures you, but we can cure ourselves. But that is all also why they use all these chemicals to keep us sick. Oh, you think you can think you can fix yourself? We'll bombard you. And they monitor all this, and they monitor the DNA and who is more affected by which things. And there is so much coming out all the time, people discussing about the different stuff that's up in the sky. And the red is created by lithium, I suppose, is what is being said. And the thing is, and I don't know, when you go into these different compounds, if they're going to say like, oh, well, the stuff we're spraying up there, that's totally different than the stuff we give in a pill to the bipolar people. It's nothing like it. I was like, oh, okay, so it's just a coincidence it's the same word or the same name? But also, that's the same stuff that powers the electric cars. So, I don't know. But I have definitely said before, I think they're spraying stuff on the people to control their moods and their behaviors. And then I even shared that, well, it wasn't on here, it was on TikTok, but I was watching that old movie, and that's what the guy said. He said they're doing it, that this was way old. He said that's what the whole thing was with the satellites, that they're spraying us with stuff. And that's why all this espionage and technology, it's not just here in America, it's worldwide. I mean, that's why we've got all this stuff going with the Crane of View, which I guess it's been announced that they've got tribunals going. So, I don't know. And also, I guess China has pulled up tanks and has blocked banks so that because people are freaking out because they can't get to their money, because they're putting them on that system. Like I said before, like, you got to give praise to some of these locations that are just in such extreme situations, because it's all, it's all part of the awakening. Some people are going through super extreme shit, and that is going to wake us all up, because no matter if we don't know about it, the 100th monkey is going to make us all start to understand it. And another thing that's interesting, so I saw this girl, because I've been saying since the beginning this whole thing about attention deficit or neurodivergent or whatever it's called, being one of those people. And then, seeing how like school and society in general kind of shun you, like then being called like, oh, you're just a daydreamer. You're just a flake. Like if you listen to your gut, you're a flake. You just, you're too flaky. You don't have any logic. And if you, one thing that I've always been, like when people would tell me things, I could see it. Like immediately I could see how it was going to play out. Like somebody would start telling me, well, I'm going to do this, blah, 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 blah. And I would be like, okay, well, you may want to be aware of this because blah, blah, blah. And, I could tell them how it was going to play out. I could just see it. And, but since I was always dealing with younger people, oh, you just think you know everything. You just, whatever you think, like, just don't tell me what to do. Don't tell me what's going to happen. Oh, and so it wasn't ever like, oh, really? Okay, so let's see. What if I, and that was before I even really truly understood about the hologram destiny situation, that we're just, in a movie, we're just here playing a part. Nothing of this is really real, and the idea of what we think of real, just like our idea of what we think of hell being, we're in it right now. We're in this low vibration, traumatic event after traumatic event, Groundhog Day. Like, so we're already in that. But on the stuff with the attention deficit and stuff. And so this girl, she was saying, because I always say it gave me the ability to be in two places at once, because I could be sitting someplace my body could be sitting there, but my mind was totally somewhere else. And that's when I started having such big problems in school. And then it was like, oh, you're just a daydreamer. Oh, you're just so distracted. Oh, you're just, and all that kind of stuff. And, but, I mean, it's because they wanted to shun us out of society. Like, when I heard later in life, like half of the, like for attention deficit, half the people will go in one direction, half will go in the other. And like every NASA scientist I heard was attention deficit. So because it gives you abilities to go into a room and assess everything really quick. Like you can look around a room, you know exactly what's going on. That's why I said like it's weird, because I don't understand what it's like for other people. But like I can go into a room and evaluate every situation and what's going on with all the people super fast. Like, and you can pick up on the energy. People start telling me something and I can see it into the future. I can see it play out, and it may only be one timeline, but most of the things I saw play out, and then the people went about their business, played out exactly how I'd seen it. So, that was kind of like a testament to self, like to show me, okay, see, we're showing you what's going to happen. It's not like, and you can't stop what's going to happen. You can't stop what people are here to learn or what people are here to do. That's out of your control. So, even when I was trying to tell people, it just came across as like, you think you know everything. And, but another thing, so I heard this girl talking about this morning, and she said that attention deficit people, I think she might have said just all neurodivergent people, are in a theta brainwave, while people who are neurotypical, was what they call it, they're at a beta brainwave. And so the beta brainwave is like, it's more, I think it's one of them slower than the other. Like, I'm not going to pretend like I can say it exactly right. But the one that is in beta, they're much more focused on their environment and what's going on in the environment and people and stuff like that. But the theta, like where I said I'm always at, it is, you're always out in la la land, and it takes work to stay grounded, to pull yourself into the now moment, into the here and now, because it is truly comes across as these people as just a daydreamer flake who's just always out in space, always just out there and that's why, I've said I can be in a completely different place. People can sit there and think I'm in the room and I'm not there. So, and the thing is that because it's so natural that a lot of people don't realize, who are that way, that they are just naturally go into meditation. They're just naturally out there anyways. And that it's the people in the beta that have to put more work into getting into that brainwave, like where some of us are all the time. So they have to work to get into that place to release this three-dimensional world, to let go of their surroundings, while others of us have to kind of grip on to the now moment and really pull in and stay present. And so you can see kind of, it's kind of interesting, the two forces, right? The ones that stay grounded into this and the ones that need to let go and be able to move. So it is, both people need to find balance. That's why, where these people try and come up with like somebody's better than somebody else. No, we're all here trying to learn shit. We're all here trying to gain control over our own avatar. Another thing I was thinking is, I heard somebody explaining something about energy or something. I can't remember the whole thing, because, I'll go into my own little mind and they'll start showing me something and I'll just, blank out over what's going on over there. And so when you talk about like souls ending or souls not going forward, and so it was kind of like this thing of being, okay, so if you think of like being here and then losing your identity so bad that you have no idea who you are. And so you think of it like as a cellular level, like if you being a cell in a system, and you lose yourself so bad, so you become contaminated or diseased by the experience because it is so all-consuming. So you can't break free and form your own identity because you're so reliant. And this system it's going away. It's evolving out of this education realm, say. And so as these souls lose their own idea of self, that they and I had heard about this, and I was like, I can't imagine this, but now the way it was shown, now I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense then. So that soul, so as this ends, and that soul, is lost and has no idea who it is, that would go back into kind of a recycle. If you think of cells, so if you think of it as a cellular body of a solar system, a cellular body, and we're all these cells that create this body, this experience, this system, then not the system that we're presently in, that is part of our education, so we can learn more about ourselves. And so we can expand ourselves. So we can learning about ourselves from it's like a diamond getting the opportunity to go in and learn about every crevice of its being. And so then if the soul goes through that, and so they become diseased, and then they are cut away, and then they are put back in, instead of discarded, they're put back into a recycle with all these other energies, all these other souls, and then they can go in there and then redefine and reconfigure itself to come out as a more complete separation of multiple beings, if that makes any sense. Like, because I think it is, we need to not think of our souls or ourselves as just this independent, like it's just Kelly. Because I'm not just Kelly. I'm a whole bunch of different people. I'm a whole bunch of different things. I'm a whole bunch of everything, because I'm a part of this system. So when I come into an incarnation, I get the experience of creating self, to understand my own cell, what my cell is. And so then if you... it's kind of like if the cell has no true identity or sense of form, it isn't like it's taking me and going, oh no, Kelly, you're not good enough, crunch, we're going to put you in with a bunch of souls and then you guys can figure it out. And that's not what I'm saying. It is more like a soul that couldn't, because free energy is energy. It is, and how I have said, like, you've got all this energy out there. So you have dark energy that's out there just looking for someone or something to attach to. And it's drawn to those feelings of negativity. That's what feels good to them. So when you are going around and you feel so negative, you pull that energy into your orbit. So you surround yourself with this negative energy. And that negative energy is going to pull in more negative energy. And it's all based on the nucleus of the source of the energy that is pulling in, and your own negativity that is creating this environment for your own self to kind of go through. That's why, it's really important for you to, when you're pull in energy that is all about love. And when something happens and there's a situation and you want to go dark, you want to be like, oh, fuck them, all fucking, that's it, try switching that, because don't forget, when you get in that energy, and especially like, fuck them, fucking kill them, oh, I hate them, you pull that energy that is attracted to that, and it will start feeding the fire. It'll get in your head. It'll start telling you, and this is where people come up with those demons and stuff. It's energy, and you're kind of directing the energy. You're creating it. And some people give it a face, give it a whole thing. and create a whole being out of this, but you pull in that energy. So try and just really get focused on the positive energy, like however you can do it. Like, fuck. It could be so many different things. I mean, it could be something as hokey as somebody triggers you and your mind starts singing happy birthday and dancing around naked or something. Just something silly that brings you out of that dark energy, pushes that dark energy away from you and pulls in that energy of feeling good. And when you pull that energy in, it will do the same thing. It will start stoking the fire. You'll start feeling better. You may start laughing. You may think, oh my God, this is so silly. I don't give a shit about them. And get you out of that mood that pulls in and triggers your emotions. And because that's always what it is. Once this emotional trigger happens, it sets out this domino effect in your mind with all these chemicals that can get you just so worked up, and you're pulling this energy in. So you want to release that kind of energy. But anyways, so we have all this energy. It's all around us. The energy that has no identity, because you have the energy that's going in and looking for something that feels good. And then you have this whole thing about energy that we're going to be using as free energy. And so I find the whole thing quite curious. Oh, and there's another thing that I was really amazed by. So I saw this little clip yesterday, and all of a sudden I just had this like epiphany, like a light bulb just went on. So, all the way back when I was talking about Mateus DeStefano and his show, I think it's called Initiation, and it's on the Gaia channel. And I started watching that a few years ago, and it was just like the same thing as when I had seen Dolores Cannon for the first time. It was like, oh my gosh, there's somebody speaking to me. They're speaking on my terms. And so, like I could just get what he was talking about, and when something resonates, it is your inner knowing. You just know. And so there was so much stuff I was learning off of his show that it was like, oh, yes. It's just like it reminds you of what you already know. And so he was talking about in the beginning when they were seeding the planet, it's gone through all these different stages, which, by the way, right now, the government has put out and said, oh, well, we're about to have 1 million extinct animals. So we're going to have to start gathering all their DNA. So why is everything going extinct? Wonder, couldn't be that stuff they're spraying in the sky. So this, he was talking about the Nephilim, that when they were here, they were the keepers of information. Like as the things were seeding and, the planet was beginning to thrive and take off and stuff like that. You can go back in and watch, because I certainly can misquote. And certainly when we all watch things, we all perceive different things. We hear different things. Different things remind us, and the other things that we don't understand or don't acknowledge, we won't understand it. It won't make sense to us. So anyways, you can go in and watch and get more specific. But so the Nephilim used water. So kind of instead of getting paper and pen and writing it down, they put the information into water. And water was the keeper, like the keeper of the secrets, the keeper of the hidden knowledge of Earth. And then when you understand about us as natural beings, and that especially because when I talk about you have universal conversations going, like there's beings or energy or whatever you want to see it, like other beings out there that are projecting their information through telepathy, through the airwaves, through the world. So there's information that comes into us, and then we perceive that information. And so that is part of this, well, they would call it supernatural world, but it is really just the natural state of the world. Nature has communication with nature, and it has a natural cycle that happens. Like you don't have to go out and force cycles in nature. They're trying to disrupt cycles because it also disrupts our cycle, because they're trying to keep us from awakening, so that they can do all of this stuff to keep us out of our natural rhythms, keep us separate. because I really think there is something to this getting up at 3 or 4, because they start talking so much. And I had just heard someone talking about this, that getting up at 3 or 4 is the best time to start communicating with your guides, because they're so busy talking to you. So, but that is part of the cycles that they would want us to keep away from. Because to me, it does make sense. When the sun goes down, why do we need electricity to keep us awake longer? The sun just said, hey, it's time to rest. So, but they want to keep us out of the natural cycle. So even when you get to the point of electricity, it's to keep you out of your natural cycle, so you stay up past your natural rhythm. And when you go into your natural rhythm and you go down when the sun goes down, and then you get up, and 3 or 4 is even before the sun comes up. I mean, it was more in the summer, which summer's apparently over, that, it'd be light really early, but, still getting up super early before the sun comes up still feels more natural. Like, even when I'll feel super tired, like, oh my God, I can't believe this, I'll get up and I'll start feeling fine. So, I don't think that that it's a problem, but they want to keep us out of our natural cycles. So all of this stuff, there's a whole thing. There's so many people sharing stuff about time, calendars, all of that kind of stuff. You can find all sorts of information, the same as like our hidden history information. There's just so much stuff out there that you can like endlessly look through. But so with this thing with the water, so now you've got all these people showing that they've put the tower things on the water towers, so the water holders in some cities, which, it's weird too, because when I was a kid and I lived in when I was born, because we moved here when I was really little, and we lived in Kansas, and it was a really small town called Olathe, and it, like, I was like 5 years old, and I'd have to go walk by myself to go to school. I think I walked with some other kids sometimes, but there was parts where I'd walk by myself, and I'd cross railroad tracks. We'd have to go through this little town part where there was this little pharmacy, and go in and get those ice cream sundaes, and it was just like old fashioned, like in the movies. And so and we had one of those big water things, and I always thought, that they just like caught the rainwater and then they gave it to us, and that's how we got water. Because I was always like, well, how does that water get in that big old tank? And then as I got older, it's like, okay, so are those tanks empty? Like, where's the pumping system? It's just like a big old tank that says like the name of the town on it. But what is it really doing? But apparently, there is some places that it is holding water, and they're putting those things all over them. And so I was watching this video yesterday, and there was this woman talking to an elder of a tribe, and says something about water. And he was talking about, I can't even remember all the stuff he was saying, but something about, it's changed from H2O to H2O2 or something. And water is always in communication with us or something like that. And all of a sudden it just clicked with me, because all of the energy that's out there that is communicating with us, especially right now during the ascension, when we've opened our minds and we're listening, we're not all so caught up in the survival of the experience. We are now seekers. We're searching for something, and there's people who are talking to us. But if you think of what they're trying to block in this awakening, and then you think about what they're doing to the water, and the water carries communication, and they're actually trying to kill the water, either through chemicals or through radiation now. And so it is, I think, part of them not wanting water to communicate with us. And then I even started thinking, go back to when they started even pushing to get people out of the tub and in the shower. You got to be fast. You don't want to be, who's got time for a bath? It's weird too, because there was a whole thing about Calgon, and Calgon take me away when I was a kid, and, women taking baths and stuff like that. But then there became this whole thing, like some houses don't even have tubs. Some just have showers, and it's just like, oh, you gotta hurry. You gotta get to work. Better just jump in there and get in that shower, because you gotta get to work. So it kind of moved us away from that. And when you do go in and sit in the tub, there is communication. You will get downloads. I can't go and take a bath without having downloads or communication or information that is I absorb from the water. And so, and that is water that is, struggling to stay alive, like my trees in the front yard, being chemically assaulted and trying to stay alive and communicate. But I was like, oh my gosh. So that is what they're doing. They are trying to stop the communication with water, with humans, because it would essentially help them to wake up. If everybody went in and started taking, but they made it dangerous to go in and soak in a tub because all of our skin absorbs all these chemicals. So everything they're doing is to cause a problem with everything in our awakening, which shows you right there. This is all about the awakening. It isn't about all this other stuff. Just like the Chef Boyardee guy said, we don't need these to get this shit in you. We got control of your food, bitches. We got to control your food. Like, are you foolish? No, it is all just a way. It's a ploy to make money. That's why I keep trying to say to people, like, every single person, we all have this stuff. They did not just go, oh, let's just do this and we'll try and get them all to take it. No, it is in everything. It is in the food. It is in the air. It is in the water. It is in everything, all the chemicals. And every single person is affected by their own DNA. Your own cellular structure depends on how you're affected by the chemicals that they are putting on you. They are monitoring that. They're monitoring which DNA, and they put this shit in their fucking computers. They can target down to which line, which lineage. They know. That's why, to me, going off the grid is going out of the system. Don't give them any more of my data. Just for them to be able to know that I healed myself from Hep C is like, then they can know, like, okay, we got to, I keep getting stuff in the mail that they want me to come in and do more labs. I got this big packet sent to me in the mail yesterday or the day before. I just threw it away. It's like, I'm not participating. I see through the system. I know what you are doing and using and targeting. And I don't know, of which groups they're targeting, but they're definitely, and is it just, the first, because they've done all these beta checks, and the first was just like, let's just throw up some glitter and see where it lands. And then they're like, oh, okay, so we see this affects them, this affects them. And then they know how to target generalized areas. Yesterday, I saw this footage, and it was over in New Jersey. I think it was in Atlantic City. And so all these people are out on the beach and they're all out there playing. A plane comes in low. Like, I'm not shitting you how low it was. Starts spraying chemicals right out on these people just flying along the beach, spraying them. And all the people just stop and start staring like, what is happening? It's like, this is the awakening. This is what they're doing to wake you up, because you can't go out and just live your regular life. These people who keep going out acting like life's just normal. We just go out and live our normal life. No, it's going to keep showing you. This is why I wish everybody would hurry up and wake up, because it is an assault on us all when these people won't wake up and see the truth that these motherfuckers are trying to kill you. You got to wake the fuck up to it. You got to see. And they're going to come down and they're going to keep showing you and showing you. And the absurdity that goes on. I saw a woman yesterday. I just start cracking up. And sometimes I'll feel really rude because I will hear a TikTok or something and somebody will be just like crying, just like freaking out. Like, I can't believe it. I can't believe it. And I am hearing something completely different. I'm hearing the absurdity meant to wake people up, because it's just so fucking absurd. I mean, I swear to God, you could spend an hour just going through the absurd stuff that is happening. But so she was so distraught and so upset and so pissed. She was just cussing up a storm because this man is going to prison for, I don't remember how many years, but he's going to prison because he overpaid his child support. He paid too much, so he's going to imprison him. Because, no, we want everyone to struggle. So it's so fucking absurd. And this person was so distraught and so upset. And it's like, okay, but all this shit is so absurd and so annoying because it's all meant to pull our attention in, to get us in, ground us into this present moment so that we can all participate and see what is going on. And, but it, it takes a lot, because a lot of people are just, they don't want to pay attention. They just want to live their lives. But you can't just go out and live your life right now. I mean, if you're going out and just living your life, then you're probably just here for that and you're going to transition out. Because most people, I think, are here to learn from this experience and to awaken to self so that they can evolve to their higher state of being. But it's going to be so hard, and people just don't realize how hard it is until you start doing it. And a lot of people can't overcome some of the humps along the way because it really is the hardest thing to face yourself, to see yourself through your own eyes. Like to see yourself, because seeing yourself through your own eyes is what is part of the problem, because you don't want to look at your dark side. So it really is seeing yourself through everyone who you ever hurt's eyes. So it is you getting a good whole cold hard look at yourself so that you can go in and really acknowledge your own behaviors, so you can go deeper into yourself, so you can heal these wounds that create these automatic responses so that you can become, more evolved, more mindful, more of a, what is the word? It is kind of like living, it's not determination, it is living, it's like you making your own choices of how you live. It is that it's taking control of that. And there's a different word that I wanted to say, but I can't think of it. But there was a couple of other things. There was some more stuff that came to my mind as I was saying that stuff. Let me think of, I wrote down a couple of things because there's so much stuff. It's really hard to keep track. The absurd stuff, what was it? I think it was something with the absurdity. Oh, dang it. It was something I really wanted to say. But anyways, it is, this is everybody's opportunity to work on themselves. And there is, no matter, what brainwave you're in, it is, a challenge to be able to do either way, to be able to release this place or to pull yourself into this place. Either thing is a challenge. And it is, part of the challenge is to go through as you are expanding yourself. And because everything is about the balance, you got to find balance in yourself and balance in your relationships. Like everything, once you find it in one thing, it just expands out. So, it becomes more of a challenge once you become complete in self. Well, are you still complete when you are interacting? Are you, what I mean? It's like a level up. You did real well. You got really good and you take great care of yourself. You love yourself. You put it out there, but, how about this? Like, can you do this? And, I think part of the next step is when you go in and you do all your healing and you take care of yourself and you are good and complete, you love yourself, then that's when you are ready to bring another person into your orbit as a partner or a couple or something, because that is the next level up. It's the next challenge, to know like who you can be. And if you've had a lot of problems from the past in relationships, then it's your new opportunity to show yourself who you are, as an evolved creature, because you've gone through the pain, the struggle, the learning, then you went through the healing, the processing, the becoming complete, and then you're ready to go back out into the field, to show yourself like, okay, you did all that. Now you're going to try this other thing. You're going to do this. And so anyways, I think it's super exciting times. And it is so many people who they're just so confused. They just are so confused over what is going on and why they're here. And, I mean, you've got these people coming down and spraying families right there. And you know what, whatever, they're spraying, which I know is making Stella sick. And you think about like all the animals, and then they clean themselves. So the stuff that's going right on their skin, they're not just breathing it. It's not just going into their eyes. Then they're licking it off their skin and digesting it. And that's on top of the water chemicals, the chemicals that are in their food. And you have to be so careful of the way you feed them. It's like, I mean, we're under total attack. And it is because it is the absurdity. We have to see it. It's the truth being shown to us, that they're out to kill us, to wake us up, and that we need to start taking control of our own lives, our own health, our own mental health. That's a huge one. They've got people so dependent for their mental health and so structured around diagnoses and medications. And oh my gosh, there's people who become so tiptoe around some of the things they say about that stuff on social media, because apparently people freak the fuck out. Talk about my antidepressants. What are you trying to do to me? I'm trying to help you. They're turning your body off. So, and we can heal ourselves. We can heal ourselves from all things. Depression is an inconvenience, is what they've created. It's an inconvenience. You're depressed. Oh, we got a pill for you. So, just take this. It could cause you to want to kill yourself, but, still, I would take it because you got to get to work. What are you going to do? And it's like, no, you need to take your time, be depressed, let your body, let your soul, let your mind process and go through whatever it is. And it is a big component is get yourself into a natural rhythm, a natural cycle, because that is, they've got everybody off on their cycles so that you are unstable. You aren't at your best. You aren't your healthiest. You aren't at your optimal when you are completely off balance. And, that's what they use, all of this stuff, the chemical assault, the frequency to keep it turning it. Man, yesterday, the past couple days, it has been going fucking crazy. Like the sounds coming into my ears, the high pitched. Yesterday, I was getting where it would go in and pound. Like it felt like I was changing elevations, like in a plane or something. It was like, oh my God. I am just, I'm going to be so relieved once we get through this part. I really hope now, we're almost to September, and I really, really hope that September is a big change for us, so we can stop being assaulted like this, and we really can start healing and stuff. And people are going to just have to see the truth. The people who think like, oh, I didn't do this, so I'm a superhuman. I'm the, are going to have to see, no, you're sick too. My brother said that the people he knows who are dying don't have these, which gives them more of a panic, because everything is going to happen in different people's lives the way it's supposed to happen, because it is supposed to happen the way it's supposed to happen. You cannot get away from destiny. Destiny is going to play itself out. We're just the paper dolls. We're just the avatars that our higher self gets to play with, to play out the scenarios that we're here to experience. So anyways, today the food bank thing is going to be open. I haven't gotten any food in a couple weeks, and I've got my refrigerator pretty cleaned out, like it's pretty empty. There for a while, it was like so full. It was like, oh my God, I've got way too much food. I can't even eat all this food. And so now I've got it pretty cleaned out, and I'm going to go up there, and it's kind of like just leaving it to the universe. What am I going to eat this week? I'm just going to leave it up to you guys and go up there, and it's kind of exciting. Like, oh my gosh, what am I going to eat? Because there is kind of like you get into a rut, and I'm put out the energy, bring me what it is my body needs. Bring me what I need at this time. And, and then I'm going to go up there and get it, and then, that's what I'm going to eat this week. And so anyways, I just think, it is all in our approach of what we think of and what we think of as being crazy. And that is one of the things they've got people so confused with, is their awakening, because they've got a huge hump right away to get over. Like, am I crazy? Am I just crazy? Like, what's going on here? Am I crazy? That's a huge one. That's a giant hump to get over. But, I'm just here to tell you, you're not crazy. There is people, I mean, the fucking water talks to us. Everything is talking to us. We are a part of this alive thing. We're the color of the picture, of this alive picture. But we are just the same. We are the cells inside that creates the picture. So we are all connected. It's not crazy to feel that connection. And, it's exciting because it's going to be taking us into a whole new existence. And, and I keep seeing all these people like fretting over, I think the super spirituals are the ones who talk about like 5D's another place. Like, you're going to leave this place and go to another place. And then plus there's a lot of these super spirituals who still believe the Earth's a globe. Like, there's a lot to wake up to. That's all I know. There's a lot to wake up to. Everything has been a lie. Everything has been to keep us. It is really, in the level of having so many obstacles to overcome, to where you really have to know yourself and know between right and wrong and be able to really be your own guide. So that is, part of the game. That's the difficult part of the game. And, and then I think as you overcome different obstacles, it gets easier, but it is also because you know how to play the game. You understand it. You understand the rules. You understand how it works. So it gives you new insight how to play. So anyways, hopefully some of that made sense. I still didn't remember what the one thing I was going to say, but since it's so early, it's, I haven't even opened the curtains yet. I'm going to go up there to the food bank, and then when I get back, I may record again if it comes to me, or something may happen at the food bank. I mean, I don't know. Out here where I'm at, these people are just, it's just rural, unhealthy people who just don't take care of themselves and don't understand the necessity. They still trust the government, and, can't imagine the government would do anything to hurt us. Yesterday, this fucking helicopter was just going over us, and it was like, alcohol sales must be down today, so they just got to come stress everybody out, because why in the hell is a helicopter just keep flying over us and flying over us? And it's so low and it's so loud and it shakes everything. There was a spider, this giant spider out here who's made this giant web blocking out this whole area. And I've just let him, because I know, it's not going to last forever. Their web will get torn down by the wind and stuff. And when the helicopter was going, that spider went and ran and hid. It's creepy. And this other spider that was on the other side of me started trying to go up and build a web up there, and it kept dropping way down. I had to move that one. It was like, dude, no, you're not going to build a web right here. I'm sitting here. God, some of them are such bitches. And this one that's right outside my door that's been there all summer, he's gotten so big and fat. Oh my gosh. But it is still weird. Like, this is weird. That now it's almost September and there's just all of these spiders, especially these little red spiders, because those are the ones that are usually out in the beginning of the season, not the end of the season. And I still don't have a million spiders up in my, I don't know, just everything is off. And everything is off. That's all I know. But it has to be off because it's changing. And we have to let go of things. We just have to let go and be ready, because everything is changing and we need to be changing with it. So anyways, I'll talk to you later. Bye.